Well, welcome everyone. I have prepared a few slides, and has everyone got printed out the workbook? Has everyone got the workbook? Yeah, everyone's got the workbook. Yay! Because it just makes it a lot easier, because we're actually going to like work through some of this together on the call, and you might need to go back and spend some more time, but it's really good to get started. And you know, with the group, I love doing this kind of thing with the group. We did our vision boards as a group last year, although Justin couldn't do his because he had a broken arm, so he couldn't use the scissors, which was kind of funny. Not really. And yeah, you can actually do this process of setting your vision pretty quickly. Like you can do a vision board in like 30 minutes. You don't need to make it like a really long process. Like I think people make these things too long and too complicated, and then they don't do them. So you know, just keep it really simple and you can really change your life. So my story is 5 years ago, well, more than 5 years ago, when I started ASEA, it was like a couple of months into it, I think, that I did this sheet down here, this one down the bottom, and it says my why. And it was really simple. It probably took me like 10, 15 minutes to do this. And we're going to do this today. And I wrote it down, and all of that came to fruition over the next 3 years, exactly as I wrote down on that piece of paper. And I had it on this pin board near my desk, along with some other, you know, inspirational quotes and sayings and different things that I had there. And I had a vision board as well. That's one from a couple of years ago. It's not my most recent one. But all of that came to pass. And I had like some pretty crazy goals on there. So at the time, I was running my project management consulting firm with my business partner, which was extremely like high stress job. People are like, oh, it's fine for you, had time. I'm like, I didn't really have time. Like it was a lot of pressure on me in that role. But I just decided that when I had a family, I didn't really want to be doing that kind of work, and I wanted to change things. So I wrote down a goal on this, and I think this was like the 16th of October by the look of that date. I can just see it there, that I wanted to earn $22,000 a month by the end of the following year. So 14 months. Like that is like a crazy goal, right? But we did it. So it's like, you know, I felt I could do it on some level, and it happened. So I just sort of set those goals, and that kind of changed our whole life and how we were able to live and like have more freedom and not be like with clients and things like that. Do you want to add anything to that, Justin? Because I think you did this process too, right then?
Yeah, just the fact that the hot guy came to pass too. That was me. You know, the
hey,
hot
where are those abs, JJ?
There's no abs in that picture. He's got a shirt on. Yeah, just look, it is more than just a vision board. Like it's got to be a deep yearning, a conviction. There's a saying, you throw the hat over the fence and you don't know how you're going to go and get it, but you have to find a way to go and get it. And when we set these goals, and we built our business very quickly and changed our lives with child and all sorts of stuff, and all these overseas trips, like we've been on a crazy amount of overseas trips now. It's a big shift to your life. You have to figure out how to do that stuff. You don't need to know how to do it all before you start. In fact, all of the mentors say, don't wait until you know. Just start doing. And so when you set these goals, you don't want to set them so high that they're a pie in the sky, but you want to set them so that you don't know how you're going to achieve them, and that they do create a feeling of excitement/fear. Now, physiologically, there is very little difference between fear and excitement in the body, and it's how we train ourselves to kind of recognize that emotion as either excitement or fear. And so if you set these goals, you go out, you work at them, you make them happen consistently over time, you will seriously improve your self-esteem. Self-esteem is built through setting small goals and achieving them consistently. And that means that you change your relationship with excitement and fear, and you get more into excitement than you do fear. So it's really exciting, this stuff.
Yeah, so you can use this for like any aspect of your life. So, you know, obviously Justin and I use this process to create an ASEA business and the lifestyle that went with that. But this can be, you can look at this as your whole life, right? So whatever you want to do, you know, just be open to the possibilities, like get into, you know, your creative brain as we go through this. Don't like think with your logical brain. Like if you have like a flash to put something down on here, just put it down, because that's the real inspiration, right? So just tune in, you know, ground yourself, get centered, like drop into your heart as we go through this, and you just write down what comes to you, because that's what's right for you. So it's not, yes, Justin.
The other thing, it's really important what Nicole just said there, drop into your heart and get into your creativity and your imagination brain. So you can't actually have your left brain, your analytical brain, and your right brain, your creative brain working together. As soon as you bring in the left brain, you'll just shut the right brain down. Okay, so that is a really good point. When you're doing these sort of things, you kind of want to do a brain dump and a brainstorm, and just get all the ideas down, get those flashes of intuition, that deep, you know, desires and wanting out of your body and onto the paper, and analyze it later. Don't analyze it while you're doing the process.
And usually what I find is you have it right the first time anyway. Like you don't need to overthink it. Like you just do it, and then it's like, you're like, right, that's what I want to create. How am I going to do it? Not sure, but I'm going to show you what I do to take steps towards like what might seem a big scary goal every day. So let's get started.
So go with your gut.
Yeah, go with your gut. So creating your 2020 vision. So it's not just for this year, but, you know, to completely, you know, if you're in a situation where you are now and you really want to change that, that might not all happen in 1 year. I have seen people do it in 1 year, but it could take, you know, 3 or 5 years. It took us about 2.5 years to be like, you know, we're going to leave that, what we were doing behind, and like step into this. So you can do it in not that long a time, but you need to have clarity is the first step to what you want to create more of. Like, what do you want your life to look like? Where do you want to live? What do you want to be doing on a daily basis? If you don't know that, then there's no way that the universe, or whatever it is that you believe in, universe, God, whatever, can conspire to bring that to you. If you don't know, you're not going to get it. So I also like to set my vision and big goals for the year and then break it down into smaller parts. So we won't do a lot of that today, but I'll show you what I do, because you might have this big goal that might take a year or 2 years or 3 years. And then you're like, okay, what am I going to do towards that this month? And then what am I going to do towards it every day? So you don't get overwhelmed, because there's always little steps. And, you know, I have a strong background in this because I worked in project management. So you have a big project. It's like $1 billion project. There's a lot of like little tiny moving parts that you do this bit, then this bit, then this bit, then this bit to deliver that whole thing. And that could take years to bring something like that to fruition. And you need to have a way to stay in action on a daily and a weekly basis. My way is very simple. I will share that with you. It is like, it seems too simple to be true. And I do use a paper diary. It works. Like it totally works. Like it's really simple, pen, paper, very, very easy. Review your goals every month as well. So it's really important. And I like to do it maybe a little differently to what some people who talk about goal setting doing is I like to review my goals for like 6 areas of my life. So we'll go through that today as well, because there's no point, like if you are like super successful in business and then your life is a mess, right? Like you don't spend any time with your family, you have no time for your kids, like you're not enjoying yourself. Like that's crazy. And that happens with a lot of entrepreneurs and they burn out. So you really need to make sure that you're looking at that in a holistic way and like where you're out of balance. And, you know, I know there's been areas I'm out of balance this year, last couple of years, to be honest, since having a child, some things that I normally would have in a really consistent practice. So it's really important to do that. But so why do you want to write it down? So 80% of people don't even think of their goals. I think that's meant to be 15% don't write them down. 4% write them down, and 1% write down their goals, and then they review them regularly. So when I had like what I wanted to create in my life, which was just a 1-page sheet, I had it on a pin board near my desk where I looked at it every day. Some people, maybe you're still working in a job. You might put it on your toilet wall, right? You're going to go there every day so you can read it every day, a few times a day, probably while you go to the bathroom. Some people will laminate it and put it on a rope in their shower, and they'll read it while they're having a shower. The most important thing is that you look at it every day so that you remember what you want to create in your life, because it's easy for people to get busy and just forget. So this is a really great book. There's also, if you Google Simon Sinek Start with why. Here's a TEDx talk that's about 25 minutes, I think. So you can just do that if you're not a reader. But it's really important. And he sort of talks about why having the why at the center of everything that you do can really set you up for success. So he's a really inspirational guy. So, but what are your dreams, your aspirations? What do you want more of in your life? How do you want to contribute? Like, that's really a big thing for a lot of people. They want to contribute to something beyond themselves. Like, we all want to create a lifestyle. We all have lifestyle values that we want to create. But it's like, what's beyond that? How do you want to contribute and be of service to the world? And that could be, you're passionate about the environment, you're passionate about animals, you're passionate about helping people who are less fortunate. Whatever it is, it's like what your passion is, what speaks to you, and what values are important to you. So this is what's really important to get clear on. So we're going to start on the workbook bit. This is really easy. So we're just going to take, this should only take like literally 2 minutes, probably even less. So if you turn to the number 1, know your why, down the bottom, this is just to start to get you to think about things for when we write them out, is what would make a difference to you. So there's some suggestions here. You might want to write down a couple more dot points, but we're just going to literally take 90 seconds for you to check this off. I'm going to set a timer. Okay, that was the time up. So hopefully everyone got that finished. It's pretty simple, that bit. If it doesn't, you can come back to work on this. That's why I put the workbook together. Does anyone want to share if that, gave them any insights that maybe they didn't have before? Like, it definitely, as I did that, I'm like, wow, that's changed from what it was a few years ago for me, of what that is. Any insights from anyone? Anyone want to share anything?
Yes, so for me, it's less about travel and more about time with family and financial and future planning too, rather than like immediate financial help. It's more about security, long-term security, stability.
Yeah, and I had stuff about like service and charitable giving in there, because now you can get yourself in a position where you can consider those things, like how you want to make an impact for others. Yes, Jarrett.
Well, I noticed that as far as doing what I love, I added in education this year. I also have travel, and last year I had time with family, I believe, and travel. So adding in education to continue to learn more. And in regards to working smarter, I've added in self-improvement and took away the time freedom. And then as far as earning more, I have all of those checked off now. Last year, I did not have, I don't know what I had last year, but I have them all checked off.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share? Can I get one more person to share before we move on? If anyone else wants to share.
Yeah, I added another box, time with my horses.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Working with everyone else, and my time with my horses, which fuels my cup, gets put to the end of the list. And so for me, that's a really big one, as well as time with family, travel and education on that side. And
I thought they were included in your family, Jackie.
they are, but I thought they needed their own box as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so hopefully, like, we're going to move into the next bit where you're going to flesh out your why a little bit. And this is the one-page sheet that I used as the thing to, set myself up for what I wanted to change, and it all came to fruition. I actually didn't do a lot of this other stuff. I had some practices that I do kind of daily, which were drilled into me from being in project management. But this next bit is the main thing. So hopefully just like starting to think about some of those things that you've checked there has started to open your, your mind, your heart up to what you want to like write down in your why, because this is really what you're going to put up and you're going to tune into every day if you want to change the trajectory of your life from what it looks like now to what you would like it to look like. So this is where you get real clarity, and it doesn't need to be long. It's not like a super long, super complicated thing. Mine was really, really simple, right? And get clear about like what sort of income you're going to need to support you with this, and how that would make a difference. So it's really simple. So it's like a few parts. I no longer want to stress about. So what is a stress in your life that you don't want as a stress in your life? So a mortgage, having to juggle bills. If I had time off, when I started this, I didn't get paid because I was a consultant. So I had no holiday pay or anything like that. So if I had time off, I didn't get paid. And then it was like, okay, now the income has stopped and things like that. And what I wanted to be able to do is I wanted to work with people that I love, felt excited about my work. Like I loved my previous career, but I was kind of a bit over it. I'd been doing it for 20 years by the time I stopped doing it, and make a contribution to people's lives to improving their health and their personal growth, because I had a lot of health challenges and I had got out of those having that health issue. So I really wanted to help other people with that as well. And for my family, I wanted to have time freedom and to take regular time out, like regular travel and things. And we have done so much travel. We're just about to go away for like 3 weeks together on an international trip, me and Justin and Joy. This will be Joy's, third international trip in 3 months. So that's definitely happened. And to your, for contribution. So how do you want to contribute? I said I wanted to have time and resources to support those less fortunate. So, and to model a sustainable and holistic lifestyle, healthy for humans and the planet. So, Justin has a big garden outside that he grows a lot of veggies in and that we eat out of and things like that. So this will be unique to you. So we're just going to do the why bit first. And I've actually put the income goals on to the next page. So I'm going to give everyone like 10 minutes to do this. And like literally you can do this in 10 minutes. You don't need to make this complicated. If you have any questions or get stuck, you can just pop into the chat box and pop them in there, and I'll answer you, just so that we can, everyone can just have some quiet space while they're doing this. So I will set a timer, and we have 10 minutes. And I'm looking forward to hearing from some of you when we come back. Okay, just a minute to go, everyone. You can come back to this, of course, if you want to do more work on it. Okay, how did everyone go with that exercise? Does anyone want to share a little insight that helped them to have, like doing their why it's different? Oh, Justin's got a lot of writing. You know, it does change a lot. Like this is quite different to when I did this for the first time now, because you're, you know, when you get yourself out of like the financial stress, which was our biggest thing, then it's like your goals can expand, like things change. So does anyone want to share what insights that gave to them, or, you know, maybe it brought up something you didn't know you wanted?
What the exercise brings up for me is that how I can do that whole page in, what was it, 10 minutes?
Yep.
Where I never used to be able to do that. I used to absolutely struggle with goals, and then my goals were too big and I'd feel like a failure because I wouldn't achieve them. Where now I can language my goals in a way that I can achieve them, that they're empowering, that they excite me, and I can get them all down and done simply, concisely, in a really, really short amount of time. So the practice of doing this in this kind of environment regularly has really changed my ability to know what I don't want to stress about, know what I want to achieve in the world, and to articulate that.
Awesome. Thank you. Does anyone else want to share the insights that they got from this? Yes, Jared.
I just noticed that like last time when I was doing this, I was focusing not really on like my well-being, and was thinking more about just business. And I believe that like last year was like a hell of a year of growth for us all, and like personal growth, personal development, I feel. And I felt like there was a lot of seeds being planted next year or last year, and I feel like they're all blossoming this year. Like I feel like this is kind of like the big year for everything to start to bloom. And I was really kind of tying my well-being into like my goals of what I actually want this year. And I don't feel like I tied them together last year.
That's awesome. I did that this year too. I was like really have put a lot of focus on fitness and exercise, and those things I've really struggled to do having a toddler at home.
That's great. I think Jared, a great contribution in the fact that it's this is a holistic process, and sometimes, you know, because most of us here are doing this process as a part of a SIA, not everyone is, and then sometimes we can get tunnel vision that it's all about the business, and it's not. It's about life. Yeah, right. It's like creating that great life, and that's where, you know, when in the leadership retreat with Dr. Price. Dr. Young Price, we went through the exercise of like, write your list of what success means to you, and then feel that energy, and then write the list of what brings you joy in your life and feel that energy. Which one do you want? To start to bring the joy into what success means for you, and live into that joy while you're succeeding.
Yeah, like do something. Yeah, she was like, do things that bring you joy every day, and then you actually, your energy is better, you have more attraction, and your business or career goals, whatever it is that you have in that side of your life, will flow more anyway, because you're doing things that make you happy every day.
And of course, that really is important with well-being, because if you've got good well-being, your vibration, your energy is quite high, and it's actually then much easier to attract and have that synchronistic universal things just come your way, opportunities present themselves.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Any insights from that exercise? I always love hearing the insights people get. It's awesome.
Check the chat box. Kylie shared there.
Yep. Kylie says, help me work with like-minded people to create a healthy world and create a positive ripple effect to inspire others and to have more energy, and doors will continue to open. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. No one else wants to share? People get shy on these calls. So then
be brave and have the power utilize the power of declaration.
It's true. Like when you declare something, it like brings it even closer towards you. I fully believe that.
Yeah, and remember the power of a group here. Like when you try and do anything by yourself, and I think the weight loss statistics show it, there's 17% or something, people succeed if they do a weight loss program by themselves. It kind of goes into the 30s or 20s if it's like with a partner, 40s if it's with 3 people, and right up to the 80s if it's a group. So right now, use the group to declare and embody what you're envisioning for this year.
Yes, Jarrett.
I just want to say that, you know, last year I still found myself to be in like convincing mode. And I felt that when I was talking to people, it was like trying to convince them into this technology. And then I would be very hard on myself, like, oh, I could have said it differently. I could have been different about this. And later part of the year, I started to like shift the frequency and shift the way that I was talking to people. So it wasn't such a convincing way in this technology. And it's more about just educating people about, here's what it is. If you're interested, I'd love to share more with you. And I feel like that's been changing things up. So that's something I added on here that I didn't have on here last time, was just about I no longer want to stress about feeling the need to convince people of this technology. And then I really want to be able to no longer be in a convincing mode with ASEA.
That's awesome. I love it. It's fantastic. Yeah, and it's like, you know, not being attached to the outcome and just, you know, you're doing what you're doing in the world, whatever that is, and, you know, not attached to whether people join you or not. And then people they'll like follow what you want to do, whatever business that you're in, or how whatever you're getting clear on here. So so one thing that is really important is, I think, to, you know, have some time in stillness all the time so that you can tune in and really start to bring your why into reality. So people can do this through meditation or visualization, things like that. So here's a few resources. There's so many out there. So find the one that resonates with you. Find something you like and do that, right? It might be like going for a walk in nature every day and using that for your stillness. Whatever it is that you like, do that. But these are some that I've used. Brad Yates has a YouTube channel, which is tapping or emotional freedom technique. It's free. So it's like you can go in there and you can, you know, go, I am having an issue today around, you know, feeling scared to talk to people, and you can type in talk to people, and he's got like 600 different ones. So you can just find something that resonates with you to help you move through your blocks. Leisha Jarrett is Justin and my coach that we have worked with for 5 years now, right, Justin? 5 years we work with Leisha. So she actually has some meditations that you can purchase on her website. And then this other lady, Master Manifestors, I think it's still the website. It's Dr. Michelle Nielsen. And she has a great book, which I really love, called Manifesting Matisse. And she had done a lot of work on manifesting, and she had a child who was born preemie, and he had a lot of developmental issues, and they said he would never go to normal school. And she actually applied her manifesting techniques to getting her son to be healthy. So she has like a lot of different things on success, weight loss, all different kind of meditations where she goes through her process. So there's a few that I like, but there's heaps out there. There's an app called Calm. So just find something that you like to do. Do you have anything to add to that, Justin?
Yeah, like I used Qigong for many years. Just whatever it is, it can be just sitting in nature and listening, being fully conscious of the sound. When you do things like that, you switch off that monkey mind and you start to get the stillness within. And to me, that like taps into what Carl Jung would say is the super consciousness, that universal consciousness. And it sounds a bit woo-woo, but this stuff is real. The law of manifestation actually goes back to the Vedic Sutras 5,000 years ago. And then it's talked about in the Old Testament 2,500 years ago as the law of creation. And now it's known as the law of attraction. And we've got like Bob Proctor and a whole bunch of people traveling the world having these massive careers teaching this stuff. And it is a phenomenon, and it is within your power as a human being to tap into this stuff. I'm currently doing a Bob Proctor workshop with Janine Babalskis, and we'll look at putting that into the wider team this year. In the last 2 months that I've been participating in that, in the last 1 month, I've had 2 dreams where I hardly ever remember a dream, but in two dreams that I've remembered in the last month have both been about manifesting my life. And it's like different parts of my life, like health and wellness, family, business. I've been rearranging that in my dream, like really freaky stuff, waking up going, oh my God, that was like magic. I'm like manifesting my life. You know, it is a real thing. And this is important work as far as getting in the zone, getting in the frequency. And that means that requires you to be really truthful with yourself, like get really real and embodied in yourself. And that's not just a thinking process. It's not just an emotional process. It's a like in traditional Chinese medicine, they call it the heart mind. And it's like the observer of the observer. And it's a beautiful space to be in where you can tap into this and manifest the life.
And just on Bob Proctor, we are starting a book club this year. So we're going to have a book of the month, and the book of the month is You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. And rich doesn't, in this book, it's not, rich isn't like money is not what he's talking about. Like, it's not just money. It's like richness in your whole life and tapping into your subconscious mind. So if you go to the Shine Bright Team Facebook group and go to the events tab, the event is there. And this book is actually out of print. So we've actually put a PDF of the book there that you can download. So it's even completely free to get the book this month. So you can download that book, and Janine will actually be doing a Facebook Live discussion later in the month on that book, because we're going to be in Japan snow skiing. So Janine is going to be doing that. So really great book to read. It was kind of one of the first pieces of work, like in the modern pieces of work on this subconscious mind stuff. There's a lot more things out there, but this is kind of like the classic. So I highly recommend you read that as well this month.
Yeah. Many of you have probably heard about Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill is like the #1 business book of all time. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Then Napoleon kind of passed on what he learned to Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale then passed it on to Bob Proctor.
I personally find this an easier read than Think and Grow Rich. That's just
me. So Think and Grow Rich is very old language because it's very old, but it's still great. It's still worthwhile reading. And I've got audio CDs of Earl Nightingale, but this Bob Proctor, I think, is the most modern language, as Nicole said.
And you can get on Audible as well. You can purchase the Audible. So I've put all the links in there, and we'll be both posting some insights from the book. But yeah, Janine, stay tuned for when Janine will schedule that live. So recommend you read that this month.
And if you go into Bob Proctor, like you go to Bob Proctor, search him on Google, he's got websites and stuff. He provides so much free content.
Yeah.
Like there's heaps of free stuff you can do with Bob Proctor.
So just on that why page, I recommend you date that. I didn't put room down there, but date it like with today's date and sign it as well. Because it's really great to have this stuff. Like I don't keep the paper copies, but I photograph them, and to go back and look at them years later about, you know, what changed in your life from what you wrote down. It's like, it's super cool. And then whatever business that you're in, whether you're building an ASEA business or something else, you can go back to people in your team or clients or whatever it is that you have and share that with them, right? About, you know, how it really works. Because this is a process that I believe everyone should be doing in their life. Like even if you have a career and you work for someone, you can still do this process, right? Because you might have goals in your career, even if you're an employee. So it's really important to have that focus. So now,
well, just as we finish on that, Nikki, you may find that if there are parts of your life that you're really good at, that you have your zone of genius, you may find that you get into this space when you're practicing that. So like Jackie's a world-renowned horse trainer. Jackie, when you're spending that time with your horses, as you put in your goals, it may be in that time you get in that space where you're developing your magic. You know, you're developing that creativity, the relationship that I've not seen it yet, but what I've been told about the way you can do your horse whispering. That could be the space where you tap into this same kind of energy that you have then you can develop in your business life or in your health life or whatever else you're trying to manifest in your life. So everyone, you might just want to think about that. Find what you're really, really good at and how you feel in that space, in that zone of excellence, and then apply that same energy to other zones, other areas.
Yeah. And listen to the inspiration that you get when you are in that like zone of genius for you. It might be, you know, you're really good at like some sort of fitness or martial arts and you get in that zone. And when you're in there, you get inspiration, like downloads of like, wow, this is what you should be doing. Listen to that, because that's like that's like the inspiration coming to you when you're in those moments.
Yeah, I think I was listening to Bob Proctor the other day, and he was like, when you get those messages, protect them like you're protecting your own life. Grab them, write them down, focus on them.
You're right. Sometimes you forget them.
If you don't protect that idea and that inspiration, that message that you're getting from your intuition or your higher self, they're gone, right? So when you get them, hold on to them and expand on them.
So this is
Jackie wanted to share.
Oh, I was just going to say, I listened to the 5-second rule not so long ago at the end of the year, and it was the same thing. Like, how many times a day do you get that inspiration and you're busy doing something and you don't act on it, even if you just wrote it down, because that you've got pretty much 5 seconds before your brain will it'll go, and then you'll forget. And I'm so guilty of that.
Yeah. So I put it in my phone. I put it in my iPad. I got my notes like synced across my computer, phone, and iPad. And that's where I store that stuff, but then I pull it out of that stuff and I put it on paper, and then I put the paper on my walls. Yeah. Good call, Jackie.
Yeah, totally. You got to
That's by Mel Robinson, everyone. Really powerful book as well.
We'll have that as book club 1 month, but anyway, you were born rich is the book club this month. So, because Janine's been doing a lot of work with that, and she's going to be around to kind of help facilitate that this month. So now I want you to just get clear on the resources to achieve your why. So money is energy, right? So what money gives you is choices for your life, choices for what you can do for your family, choices for how you can contribute. So a lot of people overestimate what they can do in a year. They think, oh, I'm going to like create this in 1 year, and underestimate what they can do in 5 years, right? So when you work out the additional income you need to achieve your why, to create the life as you want it, to contribute in the way you want, and then that's what you do. So what do you think you can create in 1 year? Maybe you're brand new, you're starting a new business. What can you create in a year? So I think our first year, I can't remember, it was maybe like 60,000 or something that we earned when we started this new business. But by 3 years in, it was 300, right? So that's like what we were able to do. We did it very quickly. So yeah, you need to work out what it is that you need, and what time you have. Like if you've got like 4 kids at home that are like, toddlers and in primary school, you might go a little slower than someone who doesn't have that, because you've got competing priorities for your time. So just think about what it is going to take you to achieve your why, and just put a number in 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and 5 years, and then just sign and date it. So that just take a minute to do that. Won't take long. Okay, hopefully everyone has finished that. So anyone want to share any insights on that? I just put numbers that popped into my head. I don't think about them or analyze them. Yeah. Yeah,
go with your intuition and then analyze them later on as to how you're going to actually make that happen. But for me, just what I wanted to share was the numbers I'm putting down now. Literally 3 years ago, I did not have the self-belief or even the belief in the business that they were realistically possible. In fact, some of the numbers I put down, no one in our company was earning this kind of a money, but they are now. And this is a great example of as you do these processes, as the years go on and you build the muscle of setting goals and building your self-belief and dream building, what you start putting down really transforms. And like I said at the beginning, that feeling between fear and excitement, I used to feel more fear when I put this stuff down. Now I'm feeling a lot more excitement. I'm like, wow, this is really exciting.
Yeah, so just, you know, go with it, put it there. And like, so what I would do, is actually, you know, put the why page up where you can see it, and write these and put these numbers up where you can see them, and, you know, just tune in. Are you still like scared of that? And this is where we're going to move into like your barriers to success exercise next. And this is where, you know, like reading the book of Bob Proctor, and I'll talk about some other things that you can do in the future, because these like might make you feel really scared right now. That's okay. It's okay if you feel like that. So this is
so Margot, just put down something.
Yeah.
Even if you're struggling, right? I totally get it. I used to struggle heaps. This goal setting stuff was not my cup of tea. I would always bugger it up and feel like a failure. But Nicole taught me to set smaller goals and achieve them. Yeah. And, you know, that could be consistent bronze, get, you know, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month in extra side income, you know, like whatever it is. It could be $500 a month and pay for your ASEA for yourself and John, whatever it is. Just like put something down and build on it.
So having this dream and vision is one thing, but what is really driving what's happening in our world is our subconscious mind is really driving what is showing up in our lives. And that's, you know, another reason we've picked the You Were Born Rich book this month, because that's really what it talks about, is your subconscious mind drives everything from how much money we earn, what our relationships look like, our health, pretty much everything, right? And we don't necessarily even know what these beliefs are. So Justin and I have worked with a coach ever since we started ASEA. And that's all she does. She never tells us one thing to do with our business. She just works on our belief systems. That's it. She's pretty woo-woo. She's pretty out there. So I've put some resources on that page. That's page 3 as well. But I want you to turn over to the next page. And we're going to have a look at, are you afraid of success, and what your score is. So I want you to just get that page out with all the questions 1 to 16. And I want you to go through and answer yes or no. So I often feel guilty about my happiness and wealth if friends are struggling. Yes or no? First thing that comes to your mind. I'm not going to like pause a lot. First thing that comes to your mind is the right answer. Yes or no? Number 2, I don't always tell others about my good luck so they won't feel envious. Number 3, I have trouble saying no to people. Number 4, before getting down to work on a project, I find unrelated things to take care of first. Number 5, I tend to believe that people that look after themselves first are selfish. Number 6, when someone I know succeeds at something, I can feel that I've failed in comparison. Number 7, I rarely have trouble concentrating for a long period of time. Number 8, when I have to ask others for help, I feel that I'm being a bother. Number 9, I often compromise in situations to avoid conflict. Number 10, when I've made a decision, I usually stick to it. Number 11, I feel self-conscious when someone who counts compliments me. Number 12, when involved in competition, I get so concerned with how well I'm doing that I don't enjoy the activity as much as I should. Number 13, a surefire way to end up disappointed is to want something too much. Number 14, instead of elation and pride, I feel let down after completing an important task or project. Number 15, mostly I find that I measure up to the standards that I set for myself. Number 16, when things seem to be going really well for me, I get afraid that I'll do something to ruin it or I fear something will happen to ruin it. Okay. All right, everyone's got their yes or no. So now we're just gonna get you to score these. And this is going to give you, you don't have to share this with anyone. It's going to give you some insight really into your subconscious programming, this exercise. That's why I love it. The CEO of ASEA, Chuck Funky, did this in Bali as a presentation. He did a whole expanded presentation on it, which Justin has done the whole thing. So if you want the link, let Justin know. He'll give that to you. But it just gives you, so if you, we'll see when you do the scoring. So circle numbers 7, 10, and 15. Add 1 point for every yes, except for those that are circled. So don't add a point for 7, 10, and 15. So total up your score of yes, with every yes being a 1 for everything except 7, 10, and 15. Just give everyone a moment to do that. And then so I want you to subtract 1 point for every yes that is answered in 7, 10, and 15. Has everyone got their score? Almost done? Yeah? Awesome. Still some people working on it, I can see there. So this is not about you being right or wrong. It's just an insight into your belief systems and what is going on subconsciously, because you might not even know you have these belief systems, right? That's the thing about the subconscious mind. Okay, so this is what the score says about you. So if it's under 5 points, your relationship with success is balanced. So this is probably where people, do things and it comes kind of easily to them because they don't have these subconscious belief systems blocking them from creating what they want in their life. So it's like, they can go and start a business or they can get a new job easily, get a promotion because they don't have all of these blocks. Between 5 and 10 points is you're at moderate risk for self-sabotaging behavior. So, maybe you get like some success, but then you sabotage it. Or, you get into a relationship and then you do something to sabotage it. Like it's not just about business, this obviously. It's like, you're sabotaging things that are going on in your life. And between 10 and 16 points, your relationship with success is out of balance. The fear and confusion will be overwhelming at times. So maybe you feel stuck, you can't make a decision, you can't move forward, you keep chopping and changing your mind about what you're going to do. It just means that these questions are just an insight into how you feel about yourself internally and subconsciously. That's what they're picking up. So it just means that you've got some work that you really need to do there. So if you've got between 5 and 10 points or 10 and 16, really focus on doing some work on your belief systems, because that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to help you bring more of what you want into your life. Even more important than your daily action for you right now is going to be that unlocking your belief system. So it's reading Bob Proctor's book, finding maybe finding a coach that you can work with if that's affordable to you, that's going to work on that aspect of yourself. So that was really, really important when we started ASEA. Remember when we started ASEA, Justin was bankrupt. Do you reckon you had some issues around your score, Justin, from that period? So I was like, you got to get a coach now.
At that particular point in life, I had some major issues around my self-belief and success. But what I did is I used the technology from Landmark to really clear that and create my future, which is amazing. But I just did this, and I looked at my score from literally only 2 Decembers ago when we went to Reach for the Beach with Vanuatu, right? When Chuck Funky did this presentation the first time, he repeated it in Bali last December. And the first time I was like in the 10 to 16 points. And this time I'm under 5 points. And last year I spent most of my effort working on my mindset and working on my heart space. So in 12 months, I went from a 12 to a -1.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So really important. Like it's just giving you insights into, if you are in those like over 5, like it's just, really prioritize some work on this because it will make the difference. Does anyone else want to share anything, any insights that they got from this exercise? It's probably maybe the first time for quite a few of you doing it. Cheryl says she had vastly different results.
I'd be happy to share something. We've had a really interesting year of self-development this year with Landmark. This last year, and my results, which were 15 only a year ago, are down to 5. So
awesome, Cheryl.
Yeah.
So you might not have seen that show up in your life, in your finance and your success yet, but now you've got that belief that what you do is going to actually work.
Yes, that is exactly correct. Yes.
So yeah, that would be what I would say. If you're like, like sitting in there at a 15 and then you're like doing all these things every day to try and, generate and change your life, you're going to really struggle with that because internally you're not resonating with it. So that's why it's really important to do that work. So Cheryl and David did a lot of work with the Landmark Forum that might speak to you. It's finding what works for you to unlock that and work with someone. Don't work with a coach who's broke if you don't want to be broke, though. That's my advice. Like if you're working with a coach who's like struggling financially and you want to and that's one of your big goals is to bring more financial freedom and abundance into your life, that they're not the right person to work with you on that. They might be able to work with you on some health things, other things, but not on that. So that would just be my one tip there. So why would people fear success? Change itself is scary. Like a lot of people are scared of change, scared what people will think of them. People expect you to succeed again if you do it once. The bar has been raised on your performance levels. You're going to get attention from people. People believe that their private life may suffer. You question if you can do it again. Your time demands will change. People will expect you to be a certain way. It's harder to stay at the top than to get there. People have all these programmed belief systems. You make enemies when you perform higher than them. Being a success can limit you, and being a success changes your self-image. So this is some of the things that people believe, right? And I know there's a lot of talk, and particularly when I started my career 20 years ago about the glass ceiling for women and, that women couldn't be successful in certain professions. I was in engineering. I worked with 97% men, right? I was the only woman. I used to get asked if I was there to take the minutes. The secretary, I'm like, actually, no, I'm the project manager. I'm here to tell you all what to do. And I never believed that there was a glass ceiling. I never believed that there was limits to success from me being a woman. It wasn't programmed into me from my parents. It wasn't programmed into me at school. I went to an all-girls school where I was taught that you could be successful as a girl. So I just didn't have that resonating in my field, and it never showed up in my career. So this is where, other things showed up. I had to I had all these beliefs about I had to work really hard and I used to work really long hours and all of this crazy stuff. I had other crazy stuff going on, but it's what you believe about yourself that shows up. And there's there was people that started things about women in engineering and, all the barriers. And I was I never experienced one. I was promoted more quickly than all of my male colleagues of my same age. So it really is, I know firsthand, it really is what you believe in your mind that shapes what shows up in your external reality, no matter what society says and all of these things. So anyway, that's just my personal insight. Do you have anything else to add there, Justin? I do have a few more things to go through in our workbook here.
No, I'm just trying to help Scott get the document. Actually, he was working off an older one.
Okay, but I can I can, it's in where I showed you last night. Go Justin Nicole marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, got it? You can just flick it to him. Awesome. So what you can do to improve your success score is work on yourself and unlock your subconscious beliefs. So, we do have the book this month that's all about subconscious beliefs. Do personal development. So I encourage all of you to pick 1 or 2 courses where you go and immerse yourself and invest in yourself this year, like a full day, a weekend, I'm probably going to fly down and do Gabrielle Bernstein's one day when we get back. I really love her. I really resonate with her work, but find something that resonates with you and invest in yourself this year. If you don't have a lot of money to do this, you can always find, like, Landmark Forum is not that expensive. It's available all around the world, but just pick some things and go, right, I'm going to do these 1 or 2 things this year. And commit daily to learn and grow. So read books. That's why we started our book club. So read books because they help you be inspired. And then when you can come and talk together as a community about that book, that can help you get insights from what that brought up for other people. And you can share what it brought up for you, and we can all help each other. Tapping or meditation. So meditation is proven to help you with your subconscious. Tapping is proven to help you, like, there's actually research on it, unlock subconscious beliefs. So look into some of those things and do them on a daily basis. You can do, like, tapping 5-10 minutes a day, right? So we know someone who earns $1 million a year, and she, like, literally credits a lot of, like, her beliefs. She was on welfare when she started at the same time as us. And she credits tapping for a lot of her success. So, you know.
And the other day we saw at a festival that she, like, hit us up for money because she didn't have any money.
Cash on her. Because she had on, like, a bikini outfit. So, you know, that
pretty much
wasn't that she was broke. It was just she couldn't fit a credit card in her outfit.
She was out partying, but it's just a classic to have, like, a multimillionaire earner, like, hitting you up for cash.
Yeah, pretty funny.
And the discussion Nicole and I had about that as we walked away was that how things change, how your mentality around money changes. Because at one point in her life, and certainly in my life, I'm pretty sure, most certainly for my life, I can speak from my experience, I wouldn't have been game to ask someone for $20 because $20 is a lot of money for me. I was like, geez, it's a lot of money for me. It must be a lot of money for them. I wouldn't put them out for that, you know? And she didn't ask for $20. She just asked, do you have any money? Right? Do you have any cash? Right? And that's the way she said it. Do you have any cash? I need to eat. Right? And we talked about how for her, you know, money comes and goes. It flows so easy. So it's easy to ask for it. And that's the space you want to be in. You want to be in a space where you're welcoming money into your life. You don't have issues around asking for money. You don't have issues about receiving money. And it was a head shaking moment as we walked away. We just went, wow, that was just hilarious. But it was great to see she had no inhibitions about money.
So that's some things that you can do. And then you can also, you know, if you're in a position where you can afford to invest in yourself, I would highly recommend working with a coach around your mindset and belief systems. Justin and I still do it to this day, at least once a month, sometimes every 6 weeks. If we're away, we have a personal one-on-one session, not both of us together because we got different things going on. We're not, you know, just because we're married doesn't mean we got the same issues. But we work with a coach around our mindset and belief systems, right? So that's really important. And for me, this year, it's been unlocking a lot of, like, you have to work hard to do more. You have to, you know, like, work really, really hard to be more successful. Like, that's what I have been unlocking.
And Nicole was brought up with the saying, it was always said in her house, hard work makes you more noble.
True.
Her father used to always say it. And I used to see Nikki always working hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so
she's very successful, but
but she's had to undo the conditioning to work smarter and to work with grace and ease and let things flow. Yeah. And so just start to look at the things you say to yourself and the conditioning belief that you have. With the coaches as well, we know multiple coaches. So it's not just Leisha that we recommend. And many of them will do like a free call to sort of check in. You want to work with a coach that you know can speak straight to you, can get to the heart of the matter for you, and will challenge you, but is also professional and can get results. And that means that they've got the results for themselves.
And where you could find those kinds of coaches?
Just message. We can send you some recommendations, Jackie, and then that's
we should put a list together.
Yeah, we'll put a list together. We'll send you some recommendations, and you really have to go with what resonates with you. Like, Leisha's pretty out there. Like, she talks to you for 20 minutes and then takes you into a process where she clears your stuff energetically. That is not everyone's thing. that works for me really well. Like I can feel the difference from when I work with her. So you just have to find what resonates for you.
Mhm.
And,
Yep.
you know, talk to them. You have a session with a few different ones and go, yep, that's the one I'm going to work with.
Yeah.
Because it really makes a difference to me, having that one-on-one. I've done group coaching as well, which is powerful in a different way. But yeah, having that one-on-one is super helpful.
Yeah,
And
that's
sometimes the
really
group coaching is a more affordable option to start with,
Yeah.
but it's an investment in yourself. And there's no greater asset than your own self. And investing in your own personal and professional development is going to make you a greater asset and increase your capacity to increase your income producing activities and your influence in the world. And ultimately, all of this comes down to the value you give the world is how you will be valued.
And if you don't have the money for it, you just start with stuff that's free. Like Brad Yates's YouTube channel, that's what our friend did, is like she just did his like free like YouTubes for years, and she ended up creating a course with him down the track. But like, you know, if that's where you're at right now, then you just start with that. You're still taking the action. So you just start with what is going to work for you. So obviously, you know, I had a business when we started our new business. And so we were able to fund that for ourselves out of that existing income we had. So then, okay, so just in the interest of time, I want to keep people here all day. So translating your why into action. So this is a really important step that you need to do. I like to do like kind of think about what I'm going to do for the quarter. I might have like a big thing that I'm going to deliver each quarter. And then I'll break it down into monthly. So there's 6 areas that I like to look at. So business or career. So you might be having a business, you might have a job as well. So look at both of them. My personal finances, my family and relationships, fitness, fun. You've got to have fun. That's like, you know, you got to have fun. There's no point to doing all of this if you're not having fun. And then balance, relax, self-care. So that's really important as well. So I'll do this each month, is that I will make a plan. So this is one from quite a few years ago, an example of things. So like, you know, we were really focused on building out a SEA business at that time. So that's what has gone in there. So it was like things like our personal enrollments, our team enrollments, our income. We were organizing a tour that month, rank advancement. So whatever it is for what you're working on in your life, you put it in there in your business and career. Your finances, like you might, yes, Justin.
Just on that, Nicole's got the 6 there from the previous page. I add 2 new ones, and these are my new habits and my new skills. Because there's not, you can't just take on 100 different new skills, right? There's only a few things you can grow each term and each year. And so you may want to put on the most important habits that will make the biggest difference in your life, you know, and develop that as a discipline and then become a habit, or one new skill that's going to make a big difference in your life, and review that regularly as well.
Yeah, so finances, like this is your personal finances. Like, what do you want to do around that? You might just pick one thing to kind of tackle there each month. Your fitness, what are you going to do for your fitness? Super easy to drop. Like fitness has been my biggest challenge the last couple of years, since Joy has been a walking toddler who walks like a snail looking at everything, which is no exercise for me walking with her. Is getting that time to do that with her at home, climbing all over me while I'm trying to work out, stealing my rebounder, all sorts of stuff. So like that's my biggest focus that I wrote down in my why, is making sure I have the time for that for myself this year. Fun. What are you doing for fun? You know, make sure like you got something fun that you're doing every month, or a few fun things, like as well as having fun every day, of course. So if you're family, so I had this as romance at the time, but family relationships. So what are you going to do with your family, with your kids, your extended family? If you've got a partner, what are you going to do with your partner? So making sure that those things are, you know, getting prioritized. They're not getting dropped off because you're getting too busy with your business or something like that, because it's very easy for entrepreneurs to do. And then relax and balance. Like, what are you doing for your self-care? You're going to get, like, I like to get a massage, like usually once a fortnight. Sometimes I get a facial too. I'm a bit of a lush. Meditation. Like, what are you going to do to like look after yourself every month? So you can go away and kind of do this for the month of January. Don't stack it up too much. Like, just like, you know, if you're just starting to do this for the first time, maybe just start with a couple of things in each area. Don't overwhelm yourself when you're learning to do something new. So yeah, just put that down. And then what you can do then at the end of each month is you review that and you're like, oh, hang on, I was like totally out of balance. Like I really didn't have any fun this month. I did really well in my business, but I didn't have any fun. Hang on, we need to reassess. We need to make sure that our life is looking, that we are doing things in all of these areas of our life, because otherwise you get stressed, you get overwhelmed, and you burn out. And then of course you're going to like translate those into the things that you're going to do every single day. So every single day you need to have things that you do, and these can be personal things, like you might read 15 minutes of like 15, 30 minutes of a book to, you know, expand your horizons, to develop yourself. You might do some meditation every day, exercise every day. If that's, you know, whatever it is that you need to do for yourself personally, we all need to put ourselves and our self-care first to show up to be the best version of ourselves. And then what are you going to do towards your business and your goals and your why every day? So you might have this big goal. It's like, well, what are you going to do? What's the first step that you're going to take? And this is where the magic happens. And by just setting your kind of monthly goals, it helps you guide your daily activities each day, because they might change like over the year, what you have as your daily things that you want to do every day. But this is where the magic happens. Showing up every day, being consistent, that's where the magic happens. And where, you know, doing this consistently really, really changes your life. So that was it for the thing. I actually did include one more page in the workbook, which I didn't put on the slides, which is the really, really simple things that I do every day that really help me to stay focused. And they seem really, really simple, but they are actually the things that I find that are powerful. So I'll just cover those really, really briefly with you. Let me just grab them up here so you can see. I just forgot to put them in.
Is that the daily disciplines to make it happen? I can
it's
share.
Number 6, daily disciplines to make it happen. I'm just going to share
I can share my screen if you'd like, Don.
Oh, that'd be perfect. I think I was just getting mine up.
Aha.
Perfect. Thank you, Justin. Okay, so this is really simple. It sounds like so simple. People sometimes like, how can that like actually be, you know, what, like, because I like tell people this is what has helped me be successful my entire career. And they're like, really? Like, seems really easy. So I still use a paper diary that's falling, like it's so well used. My one, like the pages have come out of it, like the spiral binding has broken. This is one from this year. And so what I will do.
And while you're on that, isn't there a post in the Shunbright team about some really cool planners?
Yes, there is a post about some really cool planners that are specific to network marketing, but you can just find a planner that you like and use it, right? I don't care what one you use, just find something you like. I find it really powerful. I still use online project management software to keep track of like all of my tasks and to work with my assistant, but before I finish every day, I check in on my progress. So you can see I've got here, it's all crossed off. So I have my 3 most important tasks up the top, and then a list of other, you know, random things I've got to do. What did I complete and what was incomplete? Okay. And then what I do is I go to my electronic diary and I make a note of the appointments that I have the next day in my paper diary, because then I know, I'm like, right, tomorrow I'm meeting with blah, blah, blah. This is what I got to do. And I'm just like, I'm done, right? And then I make a list of the 3 most important tasks that I need to complete the following day, and anything else that I might need to do. And sometimes it can be personal stuff like running errands or whatever. I just write it all down and then finish. You've finished your work day. You don't have to think. You don't have to like go and relax or go and have dinner with your family or be relaxing after dinner thinking, oh my goodness, these are all the things I got to do, because you've written them down. It's done. And you put that away. You leave it at your office or your desk or wherever it is that you work. And then you are finished. And then the next morning you get up when it's work time and you just look at what you've written down and you just do it. You don't think about it. You just do it. So that's like, I don't know, it sounds really simple, but that's what I do. So yeah, hang on, Justin, I'll do that.
I've put that in the chat box, though. I just copied and pasted your post into the chat box so people got a link to that planner. Just wanted to say, yes, while that planner is specifically for the direct sales and network marketing industries, what is really interesting is a lot of the leaders in this industry have learnt the discipline of being really organized and being really productive, because we need, as entrepreneurs, we really need to take responsibility for our actions. And these are systems that top leaders around the world all use. All leaders have in common a system of what they need to do and how to get it done. So while it is for those industries, it really is applicable for anyone that's trying to do anything. And it's this whole method of like being organized in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, and switching off, not worrying about it overnight, and having that recreation time, that downtime, and then starting the next day and being clear on your goals. That's the key. That's the number one key to productivity. So these planners are really cool, even if you're not using it for this industry. They're really cool because they give you that clarity and direction.
Yeah, there's some great ones. There's Passion Planner as well. And then actually this is another one. I'll grab this as well.
Yeah, Passion Planner is cool.
And this one is one that people really like is Brendan. A lot of people really like this, or you can't really see it, but it's Brendan Bouchard's High Performance Planner. And so it's like a 2 pages to a day, and it asks you questions. I think it's really great. I bought these to use last year. The only reason I didn't is because I have a really small desk, because I work in the corner of our media room, and it's quite big. It's A4, so it's it's A3 size. When it's open, it doesn't fit on my desk. So that's like literally the only reason that I didn't end up using this one last year, because I think it's a great planner, but it doesn't fit on my desk.
And the Passion Planner is really cool too. It's very manly. It's not as pretty and girly as some of the other stuff, but the Passion Planner is excellent as well. It's like a week to 2 pages. But Nikki and I have gone to the spiral bound format because you can flip it open and then it doesn't take as much room on your desk.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was like literally, but if you've got like a big workspace where you can have that, like I used to have a bigger desk and it would have been fine, but I had to get a smaller desk for this space. So that's just a practicality point of view as well. So just have a look. You can look at the internal pages of all of these planners. So just have a look and just go, okay, that one's really going to work for how I like to work. But I highly recommend the process of using a paper planner as well as your electronic diary. I really believe it helps you get more done, be more focused and more productive using a paper planner as well.
Yeah, there's all this research to show that the pen to paper or the pen method is the kinesiology of using it, the kinesthetic action of writing stuff just has a much greater impact than digitally putting stuff in. And that was another key problem for me. I've never liked reading and writing myself that much. I've always had a bit of a challenge with it. I think I'm a little bit dyslexic for whatever, but and it comes from conditioning when I was younger, right? And so I always tried to do all my goals digitally, and I got to say it does work better when I write it down. So that's why pens are coming out for iPads and stuff like that, because writing it, the action of writing it is really key. So we think that these spiral bound.
It looks like Cheryl's got another planner there. And my other advice when choosing a planner as well is, so if you are still, doing something where you're in a job, you've got to be out, you've got to move around a lot during the day, you might want to get something that's much more smaller and compact that you can easily carry in your bag. This is what Cheryl's got.
What's that one, Cheryl? What's it called? Oh, you muted that, huh?
Yeah, I can't unmute it for some reason. I don't know why.
This one's actually called a bullet journal, because I've tried so many diaries over the years and I get portioned away through, and I just I loved Brendan Burchard's and did it for 3 months, but it was so much extra for me to do that it didn't work. Mm-hmm. So you really have to try. It is trial and error. So this one's a bullet journal, and because I'm a bit arty, this really works for me because I can make it exactly how I want it.
Yeah, cool.
So there's no layout. I make my own layout, which wouldn't work for some, but you can make it as busy or as not busy as you want. But there's a fantastic YouTube video on bullet journals by the guy who designed them, and they really make sense.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
So go out and find something. Maybe you're just going to go to your local newsagent and you'll find something that you'll like there. You just do something. That's the thing. Just find something and do it.
Yeah.
So awesome. Anyone have any questions or any comments? What you got out of the call today? Obviously, you can share the link for the workbook so people can download it. If you want to share it with people, they can go through this process. The live of this is actually in the Shine Bright Team Facebook group, so people can access it there.
I was just going to say, I mean, thank you for everything. But just from someone who's had a blood clot lodge in her brain and a particularly bad 48 hours, it does actually use a different part of your brain when you're actually writing stuff down to when you're actually just reading it or writing it off a screen. So that was from the speech and OT and things like that. It actually uses a different type. Same with singing and talking and all that kind of stuff. So it really will help to program and remember what you're supposed to be doing rather than just reading it.
Yeah.
That's it. It is starting to get clever about this stuff and realizing the differences between the right brain, the left brain, what they do, the differences between speaking and writing, and just using the abundant brain science and learning science that we have today to make it work for you. This is really working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions?
I just was going to say thank you. It was been awesome just even to get the message that this was on and go, yes, I'm doing it. That's great. I just need the connection. So that's really awesome. But also, I wasn't aware, just so much. There's so much on journaling now. But I joined Chris Carr's community last September when she started it. And I love it. And she has a results journal, which is all personal stuff. And I just really learned through a lot of the stuff that she said is that, have several journals. I think I was one that was trying to stick everything in the one journal. So having a planner, having a gratitude journal, having another journal that you write health stuff in or whatever, sometimes that's, actually better. And for me, it seems like I'm getting a lot more organized because I've got the different journals for the different things. Whereas before I was trying to stuff it all in one. So
I think that's a great point, Jackie. And it's such a contrast to what Cheryl was saying, right? Everyone needs to find what works for them.
Yeah,
and for some people, more than one journal is just going to freak them out. For some people, just a journal this size is going to freak them out. Yeah. But many of these journals that we're recommending, they actually have a part of like this week's focus, good things that happen. So they have a gratitude section. They have the different sections to evoke those different parts of your brain, both organizational and emotional, and really get the most out of you. So yeah, again, it's just a case of finding what works for you. But yeah, totally. If it sounds like you're a writer, you need a few journals. That's great.
The last few years I haven't, and I think I'm exploring that more. But I have been in the past.
Yeah.
But I just found this one in the stationery place, and it's got like today's goals, reminders, notes, and then it's got exercise, gratitude, and water down the bottom. Like it's just got some real basic ones, and then it's got room to write stuff. But then I've got the other one that I keep beside my bed, and then I have another one that I've got other things in, for something else. So
so just go for go to Officeworks, go and just get one. Like just pick one, like make a commitment that you're going to get one by the end, or order one if you're going to order one online by the end of the week, and just make a decision and get one and start this process of getting your life really organized.
And if this has been helpful to you, then share the live out of the Shine Bright team. Share it to your team members and tag people that you're working with that you think could really do with this. There's still a lot of benefit in watching the recording, or watch the recording yourself if you feel like you need to go back over it. But this is just the perfect time of year to really start to get some great clarity and dive deep into what you want to get out of this year. How do you want your life to look at the end of this year? And that may not have been achieving all your goals in the end of one year. It may be on the path to achieving your goals. And to me, the gold is in the journey. It's not just the destination, right? It's the doing, not the done. The doing is the gold. Yeah, Margot.
I just wanted to share, I did put it in the chat, but not everyone has seen it. I found the Passion Planner very helpful, but they've also got a free PDF download that you can print out. And that was cool too.
Yeah. Nikki?
So if you're working with, maybe you're working with us personally, some of you are doing, basically getting mentored personally by Justin or myself, or perhaps someone else is mentoring you personally. Take a photo of your why and your goals and your stuff that you've done today and send it to the person that is mentoring you and working with you, because then they can help you. They can be like, right, this is what you want. you know, message them your success score if you feel comfortable to do that, because then they can go, okay, this is where I can help you. This is what is really going to make a difference for you this year. Could you grab the door, Justin? I think someone's at the door. Thank you. This is really what is going to make a difference for you, and like they can really help you, you know. So if I'm working with someone who's got a success score of 15, I'm going to be doing a lot of like, okay, you need to read a book. I'm going to be encouraging them to do like a lot of tapping to work on that stuff. There's going to be different things to what I'm going to suggest that they do right now to someone who's got a success score of 2, right? Because it's like it's like where is the priority of what they need to do, if that makes sense. So, you know, make sure you use that mentor or coach or someone and share what you've come up with, what you want to create, what you want to do, or find a you know, if you don't have a mentor or coach, find a buddy. Like find someone that's like, you know, that you're just going to buddy up with, and they're going to share with you, you're going to share with them, and help each other keep on track. I have a girlfriend that I do that with, that she is in, like, she actually has a job right now, but she's had a lot of businesses, and we like just chat and share each other what our goals for the week, what we're going to do, where we're stuck and stuff like that, and we just support each other that way. So yeah, find that person that's going to support you and, you know, remind you when you're having a bad day, which we all have, that this is what your goals are and why you're doing it. Also, that's it from me, unless anyone has any last questions. I think Joy's play date is here. She's got her little friend play date coming today. Thank you, everyone. I will, hang on, let me just a second. I'll unmute everyone so we can all say goodbye.
It was a renewed delivery.
Oh, it was a renewed delivery. It wasn't Joy's play date.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy New
Wishing
Year.
you amazing
May 2020
blessings
be
in
an amazing
2020.
year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.